Okay, we're back. Put stuff over here. My recipe card. We're doing the fathead crust. I have the 2 chia eggs, which is 1 tablespoon of chia and 3 tablespoons water times 2. So we're going to put that into our 1 cup almond flour. We're going to put a heaping half cup of imitation cheese. This time I'm using cheddar, Dahlia cheddar. I usually use mozzarella, but I'm just going to check this flavor out. Probably won't be that great of a difference, but we'll see. And I've got my 1/4 cup coconut oil melted, and I have my seasonings. We've got a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, a teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of basil, half a teaspoon of cumin, half a teaspoon of black pepper, half a teaspoon of sea salt. It's the exact same recipes I usually use. This one just has seasonings instead of cinnamon. Cinnamon was for the cereal. And we're going to bake it at 350. And we're going to start cutting it in squares after the first 20 minutes and start taking a look at it. It's exactly like our cereal, the last video I believe that I made, except this time just some slight changes. And you can, do whatever seasonings you want. This is just the one that I kind of play with. You can make it just garlic and herb if you want. You can make it just basil and maybe some kind of a dried tomato of sorts, maybe. Maybe you could put some sun-dried tomatoes in there with basil only and make them, some basil crackers. But let me get this in between some parchment paper, show you what that looks like. Alright, here's our parchment paper. I've got one of those large cookie sheets that's more than your standard. You might have to break this down into 2 sheets if all you have is a normal cookie sheet. But this takes up the entire shelf of the oven. I don't know what size it is. It's just huge. Okay, so there's that. Just like last time, we're going to cover it, and we are going to roll it out, or push it out, and make it as square as possible, not too thin, unless you like really super thin crackers, and that's going to mess with your baking time, but you're going to have to check it all the time anyway. And I'll show you what that process looks like as well. If you didn't check out the cinnamon, what's it called, cereal, you can check that out. It's in my videos. I'm making the crackers this time because I haven't shown it to you guys, number one, but I've got some cauliflower in the refrigerator that I need to do something with, and I'm thinking about making some cauliflower hummus. But this is really good. I mean, for extra nutrients, you can always add things like nutritional yeast, which I do in some of my bars that I make. You can hear Rebecca in the background again. Here we go. Let's take a look at it and see how thin it is. Looks about perfect. As I've never tried it with the cheddar before. Should all be delicious. And since my first video with the pizza crust, I've gotten better at it because, like I said, I haven't made this for 6 months, but here in the past month, I've made it like 4 times already, so I'm back. And we're going to bake this at 350, and we're going to start looking at it after about 15 to 20 minutes. Just, you don't want to burn it. Trying to use up some of these beets, or not use them up, but freeze them to pickle or something later. I got these from a church that was giving them away because nobody wants to eat good foods anymore. And since I love vegetables, obviously, we will fix these up later. I'll put them in my refrigerator because they're starting to get rubbery out on the counter. We'll just see what they turn into in the next couple days. If they don't turn into anything, then I will freeze them. Keep you posted on what we can do. They're beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, I decided to go ahead and make that hummus, that cauliflower hummus, and I think we're going to throw one of these beets in there. Just in case we are, I'll slice this up here in front of you so you can see how beautiful it is, but my mixer blender, Vitamix, doesn't really need it to be chopped up this well. If I choose not to use it, then I'll just put it aside, pickle them, or do something else with it later. Of course, keto friendly. These have been in for about 15 minutes now. We're going to take a peek. They're starting to smell really good. Definitely still very soft. And got my pizza cutter out. Let's just see what they cut up like. And if money's tight for you, you can always save your top parchment paper and use it for your bottom parchment next time. The bottom one usually gets cut up, so yeah, it's not too soft. And pretty much any time that it separates, you can go ahead and make your cuts for your crackers / cereal or whatever you're making. It won't detach immediately till it starts cooking down a little bit more. But like I said, if you saw the cereal video, then this is exactly the same. It's going to be a long process, but worth it. It's a process of putting it in and out and in and out of the oven while you take off the cooked pieces on the outer edge first, and as it shrinks in, you'll flip them and turn them and put them back in and just do that. So I'll keep you posted on how that's going. Okay, so it's starting to come apart. We're going to cook it a little bit more. It is very delicious. Some on the edges might be crispy enough to keep. They're at least crispy enough to taste. And you're going to get some that they break pretty easy. And then the ones in the middle are still kind of rubbery. So just let them cook. Separate them around the edges. Let them start to get more done. And as they get done, you just pull them off. There's one that's crispy. These are the best crackers ever. So you just keep going around, and it usually takes maybe about an hour to make them, but I think it's so much better than buying them at the store, too expensive and not the right flavor and all that good stuff. I'll be back with more. Okay, separated some more. Putting them in for 5, out for 5, in for 5, out for 5. And as you leave them out, you'll see some of them get crunchier. This one's not quite ready. The ones over here I've pulled out, and they are mostly ready. That has a big piece of cheese in it. But you keep doing this until they're all off here and finished. Yeah, that's done. And the longer they sit here and cool, the more you can tell which ones are done or not. And that's all your preferences to how crunchy you want them. Back in. That sizzly sound again. Yeah, so we let them cool off and see how crispy they get. So we can separate some more. You can see some of them that are probably already done. I mean, after you cook them for a while, you can tell which ones are done before they cool off. Like this one. But we'll let them cool for 5, in for 5, cool for 5. It looks like a lot of work, but I'll always tell you it's worth it. I've already narrowed down the fields quite a bit while they're sitting here cooling, seeing which ones are hard enough to take off. More done. Almost a whole batch now. And it goes like this until you're finished. Depending on what seasonings you get in there, you're going to have different colored crackers too. Let's get out one of the cooler ones and show you. Yummy. Delicious. Yep, that's that. And yeah, I think they're all done. Then you have a full bowl of crackers, probably a little bit more than you would get in the store out of a box. Definitely cheaper, and whatever flavor you want. Oh, try that recipe. Tell me what you guys think. Trying a new hummus recipe. Don't have any peanut butter, so we're starting off with nuts. Definitely made a almond flour. I was hoping for, yeah, nut butter. Yeah, it's buttery. I'm going to put in 1 onion, 1 habanero. One beet that we sliced up earlier. And a small head of cauliflower. Might add a little more later. We're going to put some olive oil in here and some refined coconut oil. Half a cup of olive oil. Or more. Anybody that watches me knows me. Okay, there's that. Well, I just did that backwards. Okay, so I just added a half a cup of olive oil to the mix. And now a half a cup of refined coconut oil. You really don't have to melt it. It's all going to the same place. And you don't want to get everything all hot, so let's see what this does and see if we have to add any water. I'd rather add olive oil instead of water. Make sure we get our good fats in there. Oh, let me get my seasonings together. 2 teaspoons cumin, 2 teaspoons sea salt or pink Himalayan, and 2 cloves of garlic. And see what this does. I'm going to come back after I do the appropriate things and make sure I mix this properly, because with hummus you have to turn it on really fast and I need both hands. Okay, this has turned out a little better than I thought it would. It was all just a big experiment. Oh, there's Rebecca in the background again. But let me get this on a plate and show you what it looks like. And we'll do a taste. Alright, we have our crackers here. And here's our hummus. I'll go ahead and include this in this recipe. So we have the cracker recipe with the cauliflower hummus. And you can just throw together whatever you want as a dip. It's kind of good. Oh, that's really delicious. Yep, I think I'm going to share this with everybody else. Really good. Thanks for watching.